checkered flag for the practice.
Alrighty. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Throwback Thursday Madness here, 87 side of things. Here tonight at Bristol, the wonderful Coliseum here. Last great Coliseum. Oh, 7 times Will. Hello, Will. How are you?
Doing wonderful tonight, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing quite swell, thank you. Um, Bristol. Phenomenal little short track here. Concrete, I do believe.
Yes, concrete started out as an asphalt track surface, but yes, eventually became concrete. Similar to Dover in that aspect as well. Constructed in 1960, it held its first race in July of 1961. Also, track where Dell Earnhardt got his first career win at in his rookie season. Basically helped him win the Rookie of the Year award, in a sense. But yeah, very, very great short track.
It's an awesome short track. I would say I've been here once and I enjoy it. It's very great. It puts on a good show here. But hopefully we have a better show with the 87 side of things. So hopefully we can keep that a rolling and a cruising and get better as the night goes on here. 150 laps. I'm going to go over a little of the information here. So you see here, we're in Bristol, Tennessee. 0.5 mile track. The weather outside is 81 degrees, 72% humidity, partly cloudy, 2 mile per hour wind. 150 laps, which is 80 miles, 70% fuel, 4 sets of tires and 1 quick fix. So anywhere between 118 to 126 you will expect to see some green flag pits if hopefully we can get that. So we'll just have to
Yeah, these
wait and
drivers.
see.
I was going to say these drivers also going to have to deal with that banking in the corners. You know, that 24 to 28 degrees of banking. The front stretch has 4 to 8 degrees of banking. The straightaways back and front. So you almost feel like you're always turning here at Bristol, even though you do get some breathing time on the straightaways, but it's not, as you know, Brian, not too long of the straights, and then you're back in
Nope.
the corners, and you're put in a very compromised position in the corners because you can't really see throughout the corner. So if there's a car that's kind of spun and it's still sitting on the track or something like that, like there's a wreck or something of that sort, you can't really see it until you get upon it. So
Absolutely will. Yes, with the way that the fast pace and the way you're going here, so it is very hard to catch and when to check up and call things out. It is dual pits. I did make that happen, so there'll be dual pits for them. Be probably a little bit more easier, as we say. So there's still a little bit under a minute left, and then these drivers will get ready to take the grid. Um, you might see some carnage here tonight in the 87s. Everybody loves the 87s side of things. Well, maybe quite a few, but we can only do so much up here from the tower and bring you guys the best race that we can provide you guys who are watching. We try to do our best every week, me and Will. So We're gonna try to bring you the best quality that we can, and hopefully a good race here all the way to the end, and maybe strategy will work out for some, and just all depends here. I do believe everything is set up right. There are no green white checkers, and it is single file, so I think we'll be all right. But anyway, Will, under the lights here tonight, I'm gonna go over the starting grid here. So P1 would be Jacob Carter, P2 would be Joe, P3 would be Brandon, P4 would be Brock, P5 would be Tim, P6 would be Jason, P7 would be Jeff, P8 will be Paul, P9 will be Matthew, P10 will be Aaron, P11 will be Chris, and then P12 will be Randy. So,
so I could find the correct year. It was in 1992 when the track got resurfaced to concrete from asphalt. So went a long way with it being asphalt, and then concrete was adapted. Lights were installed in 1995.
nice. Well, there you go.
Temporary lighting, like from utility trucks and so on, was used from 78 to 94, and then permanent lighting was put up in 95. Bristol and the Nashville Fairground Speedway was really the only two on record tracks that hosted night races. There was other, night races held in all those old cornfields or farm fields, and people would just bring their trucks or their cars, and they would light the track that way back in the day. But pace car about to pull off here, Brian, and we're about to get a show, I do suspect, here at Bristol. Bristol
Yes,
always, normally brings some good racing.
oh yeah. Every now and then, Bristol does bring good racing, that's for sure. Will a lot of beating and banging, a lot of bumping and grinding there, so might see quite a few of that. Anyway, Joe's up there, P2. Will, that's good to see Joe up there. Is that Joe? Because there's two 33s. Yes, that's Joe. The other one is Tim. Okay. Yeah, the other one is Tim. So.
One's a Buick, one's a Monte Carlo.
Yep.
Are they both Monte Carlos? No, one's a Buick, one's a Monte Carlo.
Green flag is off.
I'm sure Joe's in the Buick and Tim's in the Monte Carlo. That also just Joe's Skull Bandit emblem is bigger on his Buick than on Tim's Monte Carlo. So, live action racing here. What number is Tim supposed to be? The 12,
86.
right? Oh, 86, my apologies. Yes, that's Jeff Taylor in the 12.
Oh. A wild
Drummer move. Tim drummer. Yes, now I know why you're just calling him Tim.
Joe must have got a little loosey-goosey there and slid on back here to about 9th, so...
As he was trying to regain a little bit of control of the car, he kind of straddled the apron there. Those left sides, he just straddled them with the concrete and the asphalt there, so that's probably what upset the car a little bit further as he was trying to rebound from that.
So the 12 is Jeff Taylor.
Oh, Randy was going to start this race, but unfortunately didn't get to the start of the race. I see. I believe that's Randy down there.
Yes, that is Randy.
Oh, man.
Bradford to the inside of that 12 of Jeff with Joe right there behind him.
Neil Bonnet paint scheme this time on the Jeff Taylor machine, so as he found a paint scheme that matches the number. That's cool. Also, Neil Bonnet, kind of was teammates with Daryl Waltrip for a handful of years with Junior Johnson. So, oh man, Joe getting a bit hands-on with Jeff there in the 12.
Yeah. As Jacob Carter sits in first and JP in second.
At Carter trying to pull away here, but like you say, Pearson right there in second place.
Wrapping that outside lane there, giving Brock the bottom.
Basically a second lead here isn't too big of a lead, but it still can be a comfort zone. But you would at least like to have at least a 3, maybe 4, even 5 second lead would for some here at Bristol would feel very comfortable. But just have to see how hard Carter's going to be pushing here on this opening stanza of the race.
Right now you got Brandon Moore and Aaron Bradford there, P6 and P7.
And Brock took second away from Pearson, so
Bradford's trying to work that middle lane and keep it down there as Brandon's straddling that bottom lane there, Will, as we see here, going through all the turns and then arcing her back up to the top. And right in front of them is Matthew Huntsaker. Gomez, thank you for coming on out, buddy. How you been? But, yes.
Yeah, Matthew currently sitting in P5, top 5 position currently, so still got Drummer, though, in 4th in the backup Skull Bandit machine.
Yeah, like you said, you got Bradford there, 7th, Christopher Campbell, 9th. Campbell was one of those late ones to come in and get in there, turn quite a few laps to the best that he can. So well, he's hanging out there in 9th at the moment.
Currently 42 a loss and 2 laps down. Don't know what he could be struggling with at the moment. Maybe just could be this, possibly maybe he could be struggling with some tightness and not possible, not able to possibly get up to speed like the rest of them at the moment. So could be fighting with that. He's in the pits currently. So other than that, first on down to 10th place, separated by just over 12 seconds in total. So as there's a decently good battle back here. Joe, who is that? Joe, Jeff
Tim.
Taylor, and
No, Joe, Tim, and
No.
Matthew.
oh yes, everybody's trying to be a doppelganger tonight and run other paint schemes that others do. So Matthew in that 82 car, or nope, my apologies. Who is in the 82 car?
That would be Matthew.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Our scoring pylon not necessarily lying to me, just, giving me different information than what they're on track. So Matthew getting ahead of Drummer there, Tim Drunger. good little tussle back here for
Camera move. I do believe that's how you say it. I don't know.
one of those things where at some point we'll just be dying to ask him.
Oh, JP with a little blink.
Well, just over 25 laps into this, and still got some good battles going on. 5th, 6th, and 7th here.
Oh,
Oh, and we had it coming together. It was bound to happen at some point. Somebody finding trouble. And, oh, Carter got into the wall, got into the outside retaining wall. And unfortunately, teammate Brock Page was just there to help him once Carter kind of sponged into the wall there. They just came together. So that's 1st and 2nd. Maybe this is going to be one of those races where you don't want to be the leader.
probably. Don't know why that wasn't a yellow, but iRacing's probably like, well, they're off the track.
Yeah, you're right. That wasn't a yellow. I thought that was a yellow. Oh my goodness! So Matthew Hunsaker's now in the lead. Brandon Moore's in 2nd. That kind of jumbled up the running order.
Sure
Unbelievable that wasn't a caution, but they did slide from the outside retaining wall to the inside retaining wall off of the racing surface. So maybe iRacing was just like, okay, go on about your day.
And we know
Very unfortunate.
In the yellow.
Oh yes, most certainly. That's most unfortunate for Brock, who was just, I would say, applying pressure to the teammate, but still riding in 2nd comfortable. And I think Carter just from the look of it could have just got a bit tight and just washed up into the wall there. That looks to be the case, but unfortunate for both men involved. But like you say, it does not bring out a caution here, as we see the race leader. Now, Matthew trying to stay out ahead of Brandon Moore. Like I said, that kind of did jumble up the running order because I believe something occurred more so as the field kind of got to the leaders at that point. I think everybody probably checked up, put on the binders a lot. Some of them did, because they were probably expecting a caution to bring to Wade because of that, but it did not manifest. So Christopher Campbell going a lap down there.
The first car, 1 lap down there. It's Mr. Campbell.
And because Bradford was right up, he was just a couple of seconds away from Matthew and Brandon up here. And then I think Tim and Aaron, they could have possibly just got on the binders a bit too heavy for that incident, as they are just kind of no longer around in a sense. I mean, Bradford, he's still kind of, I would say, still within the reasonable pace of when Brandon Moore started to drive away from that little battling, trio, I guess you could call it.
Yep, let's see here. Bradford to the inside of Campbell there.
Look at how much damage that Jacob Carter has. Now, if this was a place like Michigan or a bigger speedway, it would probably affect him a lot more. Where'd he go? Okay. Yep. Also having a bit of a connection problem as well. I don't think that was anything to do with him just getting into the wall. I think he just got tight and...
Yeah, he ain't got no front left.
Yeah. I'm surprised he's still able to manhandle that car like he is. and still sitting in third place currently. That's very surprising, just because of how hard of a hit that he took there.
Oh, Joe with a little urgy-bargy there to Tim there. But they're good. But here comes the 12 behind Joe there. But great, tremendous run there. You see right here, you got Huntsaker there. As Lawson letting them all go by. Don't want to interfere with their race, so
I don't know if Brandon's just playing cat and mouse at the moment, just playing the waiting game, because we know how good Brandon can be at Bristol. If he's just letting Matthew kind of run his pace at the moment.
that's probably what he's doing.
Like you said, just kind of probably waiting till they can get to that pit stop. Everybody needs to make a pit stop this race, like you talked about. That's probably going to happen, like you said. You said around from 112, maybe 120-ish, somewhere in that ballpark. So if it stays green, like this race kind of has already been looking like already, approaching, the lap 50 mark, it could seem to just be one of those that just goes all the way green.
Oh yeah. Now you see here, Brandon's ever so slightly getting close to Matthew. As Matthew looks to put JP one lap down just like that.
You can also tell with the track map that you have up, Brian, how different turns 1 and 2 with 3 and 4 are. 3 and 4 kind of, on the exit of turn 4, it really narrows up the racing lane it can, but it's a such a wider radius than turns 1 and 2 is. They are completely different sides of the track.
Yep, I see there. Matthew having a good run there. Now as we check on board here with Tim.
Yes, Tim, and I guess that was Joe. Tim and Joe. So I only hesitated because I didn't know who it was.
Oh well, after Bristol they go to the Milwaukee Mile here.
Yes, Milwaukee Mile. That'll be, I would expect it'll be a challenge with these cars. Just as about like almost every track is with these cars is a challenge, but Milwaukee Mile, basically it's a, it's very similar to New Hampshire, very similar to Martinsville, just bigger, a little bit more flatter too. Like Milwaukee Mile, the track is relatively flat, so a lot of rolling through the corner, probably to be expected.
Oh yeah.
You can really tell Jacob struggling with that car, how much damage it has accumulated and just gained in that. I wouldn't really call it a small incident, but that incident he had earlier in the race. So, but yes, Brandon Moore taking the lead away from Hunsaker.
Oh yeah, looking to put.
They are now working traffic.
Yep, Well, to put
Joe
Joe one
Stipe a
lap
lap
down.
down.
Yep. And then Tim. Matthew was
Got to
held up
remember
to the
though.
rear of that 47 machine there.
Also, got to remember these cars are also in a battle of their own. It may be further back in the field, but they are also in amongst their own scrap. As the race leaders come up to them, they're also trying to navigate their battle, but also steer clear of the race leaders.
You see there, Jacob Carter is now in the pits. And now he'll fall one lap down there.
Almost to the halfway point. Just about 15 laps away from it. And we will be halfway through with this race, and kind of feel like we should have at least one caution. But we haven't. That big incident involving the two race leaders at the time probably should have brought out the yellow flag, but we didn't see it. And that's kind of what is, I would have to say, kind of turned the race kind of around. Like I said, because there was some that probably was gonna. I feel like there was at least 2 or 3 people that just checked up tremendously and lost a lot of time because of that. But probably their mindset was, okay, there's about to be a caution. But Matthew and Brandon, they just kept their foot in it. You see Aaron Bradford now working the traffic as well. Oh, Lawson.
You see there goes Brock Page. Jacob Carter
Back out.
Yep.
Yep.
New car and everything. But now he's got to finesse a bit with the traffic too as well.
Yes, he's 2 laps down in that exchange, going in and probably a full service stop, repairing the car. And with the lap times here at Bristol, that'll more than likely put you 2 laps down, especially in the 87. So everybody, if we do see the green flag, pit cycle here, whenever that may be, Jacob should be good to go to the end.
Yes, he should. But the problem is, Will, is he going to have the tires?
Oh, that's a good question, yes.
With pitting that early to fix the car, is he going to have the tires? Because now when all these guys pit, they're going to come and take those fresh 4 good years and call it a day.
So, Joe Stipe, the first car 1 lap down. We have 3 cars 1 lap down and 3 cars multiple laps down at the moment. As Jacob Carter, first car, we suspect to be fresh tires and all. Like you said, he took that fast repair, so he's going to be trying to make up some ground. Close battle here.
Yeah, this is the battle for third. On board here with Aaron Bradford and Brock Page. As Brock Page tries to get the run to the inside, can't quite do it. Now, as you see there, they ran into P2 there. So this is second, third, and fourth.
We also got to remember Brock has some damage on his car as well. Don't know how much he's struggling with, but it probably not as significant as Jacob's damage was, but still enough to be struggling, putting up some sort of a more of a fight. He was in P2 when him and Jacob had that run in there, so now recovering back, trying to get back into the podium positions, but Matthew having some sort of a problem as they traveled through 1 and 2 there.
He probably burnt his tires up. Well,
Yes, I have to agree with that. Looks like it that way, but this battle continues now for second and third. They got by Matthew, disposed to him, and great run tonight for Aaron Bradford.
yes, sir. Doing the best
Really
he
able
can.
to. Oh yeah, most certainly. As Brock now with that bottom line momentum taking that position away, but still struggling, trying to get that car to turn down a little bit more. And it's really walking the dog up the track. Matthew lost a lot of ground because, as we speculate here, he has really lost his tires.
Jacob got himself in
Really
a pickle here. This is at the point to where you got to be patient.
got to be patient and careful working through the traffic, any type of traffic, whether it's people a lap down, somebody on the same lap, just not on the same type of fresh tire as you, perhaps. So
So 82 at 150 in the books here tonight.
Hunsaker pitted, so he just pitted not too long ago, Brian.
Yes.
So Jeff Taylor, Bradford, Page, and Moore on the lead lap and have yet to pit, but Carter has pitted, Hunsaker has pitted that we know of. I think Tim pitted, and possibly Pearson if you look.
And Campbell.
So just waiting on the top 4 to pit now. And you can really tell with fresh tires how these drivers are able to just cut through traffic. You can totally tell the difference between someone who's out there struggling on old tires, 85 lap old tires, compared to somebody that just came in and pitted not too long ago.
Absolutely will, as you see there. Joe Stipe falls 2 laps down.
Yes, now that Brandon Moore has taken the lead, he has been setting a decent pace. Brock is only, 5 seconds or so behind, but not sure, like I said, not sure how much damage he's actually having to fight, struggle, and deal with in the 62 machine after his run-in with his own teammate there, early going.
Coming to lap 90, Will, this time. So these boys are just ticking away laps. Getting it all done in one shot, which is awesome to see. We would have thought we might have had quite a few cautions, which we probably should have, but unfortunately, there's things...
At least that one caution, at least. But iRacing just said no, which it's understandable. It's happened before, so...
And if this race went green, then could have fooled me.
Nevertheless, if you would have told me that Brock and Jacob would have been caught up in the same wreck, not even 30 laps into the race, and Brock is currently sitting P2 and Jacob's on a recovery drive at the moment, like I would have been like, oh, okay, like, I would have never have known.
Absolutely, well, I agree with you. 94 of 150 in the books. Brandon Moore is still your leader as Campbell looks to get one of his 8 laps back by getting on by Brandon. The best that he can.
He's got the fresher tire, but unfortunately, Campbell just can't do nothing with Brandon. Trying, like he's talked about, trying to get one of those 8 laps back, but can't seem to just. Brandon is just so much better at just rolling through the center of the corner, and just can't seem, to get to him. He can get somewhat he can make a charge at him, but then right at the center of the corner, or more so the exit, just starts to inch back away from Campbell. So this is that comfortable time, that space, that gap that I talked about earlier in the race, where if you're the race leader, this is the type of gap you want. You want a 5 to 6 second lead over P2. You don't want to have to worry about too much if you are the leader at Bristol.
Absolutely.
So Brock Page, Bradford, and Jeff Taylor, like we've talked about, the 4 remaining cars on the lead lap with Brandon Moore, your race leader, getting closer and closer to that for sure pit stop time.
50 laps
for the
here, Will.
Yep. Already got past halfway. Now just the 50 lap mark remaining.
.49 laps to go as Brock Page is now making his scheduled pit stops. And that'll move Bradford to second. As now Carter will get by Page. Say it's about 2 laps you go down. So 3 drivers on the lead lap: Brandon Moore, Aaron Bradford, Jeff Taylor. You see there Campbell ever so slightly trying to get by Brandon Moore, but just can't quite get it to happen.
So Brock Page making his pit stop here. He's going to cycle out in 6th position, it looks like.
Yes, sir.
And your question earlier about, will Carter have the tire life later on in the race? He's currently P4, and
Caution.
oh my goodness. Well, this isn't going to help anybody who's a lap down. Looks like Jeff Taylor has lost it coming out of turn number 2 and looped it down the back straightaway.
So you see here,
Could there
all I saw
have been contact?
a red car.
Yeah, all I saw was Jeff. Gonna see here what happens. Looks like he was on the very bottom, then he... Oh. Lawson got up the track, and who I think that's Joe. I think that's Stipe. Yeah, that's Joe. That's a Buick.
Yes.
he was just. It looks like he was just trying to come down to avoid the 42, but unfortunately they met, and it was not a single car incident, as we speculated. Jeff Taylor just almost an innocent bystander, but part of racing. You see here, Lawson walks it up the track in front of Joe Stipe in the 33. Joe cuts down the track to do some evasive maneuvers to get away from him, and unfortunate timing and circumstances and everything, Joe clips the back bumper, and yeah, they just had a coming together. Just a racing ordeal, nothing really on nobody's part there, I don't think. Just racing at Bristol, more or less. And this is Field's going to get the green flag with about 38, 37 laps to go here, Brian.
Yes, sir, with Brandon Moore being your front leader here. I do believe everybody pitted. So it looks like Brock Page and I think Pearson stayed out. No, that's Stipe. Don't mind the dog. You wanted to come over and give a little love here.
So Brandon Moore will be the race leader with Aaron Bradford in P2, Jacob Carter back on the lead lap in P3 in the 88 disguised 54 Superflow car.
Yep.
So 3 cars on the lead lap with 38, 37 laps to go. Rest of the field hoping these 3 might take each other out. I would say that was just a pretty decent restart by Brandon, not really the greatest. Bradford gets a good shot around the outside. He's going to look to take the lead away. Can't quite get there at the moment, but he's going to try to keep that momentum wrapped up in the outside lane. Could it be a case of cold tire suffice, or maybe the tire not fully up to temperature as Matthew Hunsaker comes up trying to get one of his laps back? He's 2 laps down currently. Everybody just struggling and fighting, trying to just gain any position whatsoever that they can. Oh no, Bradford and Moore, I think, touched going into turn 3. Chaos has unraveled.
I missed it. Sorry.
Bradford just barely got into the back of Brandon and lifted Brandon up ever so slightly, enough to get them both sideways. And yeah, that's all they wrote. That's all she wrote, after that.
Yeah, as you see here, Bradford just poor mistiming by Bradford.
I just tired racing. I think Brandon was going to come up, try to just kind of block the run that Bradford had been having on the high side. He knew that Hunsaker was, down low. He's 2 laps down, not really trying to battle or fight him. His main threat was Bradford up here on the high side, so he comes up trying to block or stall or whatever you could call it, Bradford's run out there on the outside. But Bradford, his plan was to drive it in deeper and hopefully not have Brandon up there in front of him, and just unfortunate all around.
So Bradford stood out.
So I don't think he got too much damage out of that ordeal, so it might be best if he actually plays this card like he does here. Doesn't look to be too beat up, that Tide Machine, so. Yeah, we had no cautions all the way up for 100 laps. And, man, after that 100 laps, they got extra dicey and racy. Getting down towards the nitty gritty, and it happens like this sometimes, it's part of it.
Yes, sir.
So,
118 F-150 in the books, Will.
that recent incident will put 2 more cars on the lead lap. That gave us Brock Page and Jeff Taylor. I do believe will be back on the lead lap. I think they might have been able to get through before time of caution. Have to see here in just a minute before they get resettled or restacked for the. Yep, they're getting weighed by the base car there. So.
So now we have 5 cars on the lead lap. Hunsaker's 1.
Yes, Matthews, our last car, our driver, 1 lap down. Then Tim, I think, who's just drove an outstanding race, just pure unlucky with the time of the first caution. I think if the green flag cycle would have cycled out, we would have had more cars on the lead lap at this time. But green flag back out in the air here. Bradford going to lead them through turns 1 and 2. Brandon Moore on the outside of Carter. Brandon's going back for the lead, you can see here.
Yes, he is. Another 5 laps, Will, and we will be exactly 25 laps to go. How ironic, we got the 25 car up here in front of the pack. Brandon Moore being under attack by Jacob Carter here.
Bradford has a real good lane, running that middle to high. Going in there middle and then fading up high towards the later transition of the corner. That can be a pretty decent lane to use at Bristol. As you can see, Brandon Moore trying to diamond the corner, and he's got company. Like you said, Jacob Carter's right behind him.
Next time by
recovery.
Will be 25 laps to go.
Huge recovery drive from Jacob Carter. That is a lap car in between Carter and Page. So
there's quite a few. I think there's 2 or 3
yes.
lap cars in front of Brock.
Yes, there is. So.
Bradford, you don't want to get in that wall there.
Tight racing here. 25 laps to go. Carter now underneath Brandon Moore after Brandon Moore took the lead away from Aaron Bradford. Side by side for the lead.
.23 to go.
How many more laps can they stay side by side with one another? I mean, they are absolutely giving it all they have, these 2 drivers, going for first and second.
Jacob has a nose over Brandon Moore. Still
just a slight advantage that bottom lane is providing.
Oh, as 3 wide.
Brandon Moore now to the lead. He got by Jacob. Jacob, though, applying the pressure back. Trying to get back to the inside of the 47. But just can't quite get there. I think Brandon's tires finally heated up on him. No, but Carter looked to the outside, but the door closed right on the exit. Here he goes, looking back to the outside. Can he get there? No, he cannot. Now diving back downstairs. Oh! They had it coming together. They touched. They're sideways. Oh, everybody's going to get collected into this one.
Wow. Vicious crash. Vicious crash.
I think Brandon might have tried to come down the track and shut the door, but it was a bit too late. Jacob was already there. Oh, no, Jacob just sent a Hail Mary in there. That's what happened there. Okay. You see the run that Jacob gets coming off of turn 2 down the back straightaway. He slung it down deep in there, only for it to wash ever so slightly up the track into the 47. The good, hard battling that they had just a few laps prior, Jacob kind of threw it all down the tube.
That could be debatable. I mean,
yes, very, very could be, but they still had a good bit left to race, Brian. There was still, 19 laps to go when he did this, so...
Yeah, something like that.
This is kind of something you would see, with 5 laps to go, not say 20. In my mind, in my opinion, this is one heck of a good move to make. But then you have to remember that Brandon is going to try to counteract those, come down the track just a little bit, and I don't think the car. I don't think Jacob's car is just going to stick on the bottom, regardless if Brandon's going to come down or not. He's going to wash up the track like he did. That's just hard racing on the both of them. I mean, getting down towards the end of this race, they're both of them trying to go hard and win it. And you got Brandon trying to defend. You got Jacob slinging everything he's got at it.
Absolutely. I would say it's been a pretty good race so far. We enjoyed. Yes, Kyle.
Like I said,
Bristol, baby. We love it for sure.
Like I said, after they got 100 laps in the book, it's like, oh, okay, let's start playing bumper cars. We knew it was probably going to happen at some point. The Bristol brings the best out of everybody. Short tracks brings the best out of everybody. So just one of those wait and see what's going to happen type of things.
So this will put Matthew back on a lead lap.
Bradford's still up here. He still has a shot. Brock Page is back up here. He's sitting in P2, it looks like.
As Carter gives a little kiss to the pace car, but I don't think that's going to work out well. And Jacob's car looks like it's been through the old ringer a few times.
Oh, everybody out here. I think Bradford just had to use his quick fix this past time, so he should have a brand new car. No dinks or scratches here. He should be giving it all he has now. Green flag back out in the air once again. Brock Page going to look to the outside. Jacob's going to run him up just a little bit. Here comes Brandon, though. Brandon's going to stick it through the middle. Oh! Contact between Brock and Brandon. The BB's getting involved. Carter, very sluggish here. Can't seem to get the car going.
That's all that damage.
Yep. Bradford now. Look at Bradford slinging it in there.
Ten laps to go.
Brock Page looking to get by Brandon Moore every which direction he can. Brandon's been ruffled up here a little bit towards the closing stages of this race. He says, I don't want it to happen for a third time on me.
Problem is,
Bradford could just...
a lot of these boys know you block plenty of times, you're going to go around. And I think
Oh, yeah.
Bradford's sitting in a good spot right now in case if that does happen.
But look at Brock. Brock's going to the inside. Gets his nose in there. Can't. Oh, man, this is just real good, hard racing. Close racing. That's what you like to see here at Bristol. You can see there, getting by, Lawson again.
Brock Page
Brock
all
track.
over the rear of that 47 machine.
Like you said, can they settle amongst themselves, or is Bradford just waiting in the wings? 5 laps to go. That would be 3 to go this time by, right? Like that was,
yes.
This is 4. Okay, 3 laps to go. They're still side by side. Brock's still looking for that bottom lane of momentum. Can Brock get it? Brandon's just able to get that center. I feel like it's just the center that Brandon's able to bite back. 2 laps to go, Brian. Brock looks towards the outside. Coming to the white flag, penultimate lap here at Bristol. White flag will be waving here.
Oh!
This is, oh! Brock got into the back. What's going to happen here? There's Bradford. Does Bradford have enough time? Anything? What's going to happen here?
Oh, so Brock
Page. Yep. Just pretty remarkable. A bit speechless. Don't know what to say, Brian.
I don't know, but we'll come back here and take a look.
So this is getting the white flag right here.
Bradford's like, oh, Nelly.
And you can see Bradford had to go all the way onto the apron trying to avoid this.
But Brock Page comes out victorious here, Will. I would say overall great race. We've seen a lot of oofs and a lot of oomphs. So Brock Page, Aaron Bradford, Brandon Moore, Jacob Carter, your top 5. So let's see if we can rally them up, and we'll go from there. There's Brandon Moore. AB. Brock Page. Boom. Alright. So. Brandon.
I suggest just pull me out of here because I'm not going to put up with getting full throttled in the freaking corner. The dude didn't even lift.
That's what we saw. But anyway, if you don't want to talk, that is fine. We'll go ahead
No,
and.
I don't. I don't want to say anything that's going to disrupt the quality of your stream. Out of respect.
Ah, buddy. True Scholar. Well, so then we'll talk to Bradford. Dang it, because I wanted to talk to. I wanted to talk to Brandon too. But that's alright. We'll go ahead and we'll talk to AB. AB,
What's up?
what's up?
Oh, not much, man.
What a wild run you had here,
Yeah.
fighting tooth and nail with everybody.
Right.
Me and Will thought you could have got it done there on the last lap.
I tried, man. I tried. I saw what was going on, and I didn't let out of it. I went low, and I just couldn't hold it. I tried.
You did. Anyway, congratulations on the P2.
Thank you.
Pretty solid run.
Real good, outstanding. I was going to say, real good, outstanding run tonight, Aaron. All throughout the race, Bristol was kind to you tonight.
For a change,
for the most part. Yeah, and yeah, just I'm kind of speechless. I'm sorry, Bradford, but
you're good, man.
Next week, Milwaukee, that's going to be flat and probably some more bumping and banging, more or less. But yeah, how does it feel to actually be able to walk out of a race weekend or a race event with a actual decently good finish, Bradford?
Be that it's Bristol, it feels really good because I'm not very strong here. I usually have trouble with the car, getting it turned, but tonight it was pretty good. I couldn't believe how good the car felt tonight. So for it was a good change for Bristol because normally I'm in the back or I get caught up into somebody's stuff. So, but I do want to apologize to Brandon. I did get into him there on that one lap, and that was not intentional. I feel bad for it, but I didn't expect him to come up in front of me to move out of the way of the lap car, and couldn't get out of it fast enough.
Yes.
Yeah, it just looked like one of those racing deals. You guys were really tight nose racing, and then it looked like on the replay, it looked like you were going to try to drive it in deeper on the outside of him, and then whenever he kind of came up in front of you, I don't want to say you kind of panicked, but there was just nowhere for you to go at that point, and you were already committed to your lane. So what you had already been doing.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Was I was like, I'm gonna drive it in pretty hard, and then he moved up in front of me, and by then I had done made my bed. I couldn't back out of it fast enough, so I just kind of got into him. I felt terrible about it. So
Have you ever raced at Milwaukee before?
I was actually thinking. I don't think I have, man. If I have, I don't remember it.
It's just a flatter New Hampshire.
Okay, I'm pretty decent at New Hampshire, so I might have some luck there. Maybe.
Yes,
Well, thanks for talking to us tonight, Bradford. Got any final thoughts, shout-outs, anything else you'd like to add about tonight's race, perhaps?
My normal. Thank you guys for doing what y'all do up here in the booth every week and making it a fun broadcast and everything like that. And that's about it, man.
Yes, sir. Like I said, it's always an honor to have you here. Congratulations on the P2. I saw Brock left the broadcast room, so I don't know what shindig's going on with that. But I'm gonna get you up there with Campbell and them, and let you
Alright.
do your thing.
All right, man. Appreciate it, guys.
No problem. Well, I don't know if he's having a discussion with him. I don't want to interfere with any of it. So unfortunately, we were only able to talk to Bradford at this time. So, well, that was pretty interesting. That was a daggone good race, I would say.
Yeah, overall, I'd have to agree with you. It was a great race for sure. The ending was pretty interesting. That's to say the least. Looking at it from a spectator point of view, commentator point of view, you hate to see stuff like that happen, but because you never quite know correctly what to say about it. So. Yeah, overall, good race, great race. There was a lot of good side-by-side battling, a lot of back and forth between different drivers all night. A lot of good battling. You had Bradford, Tim, Joe, everybody going at it all night tonight. So can't wait to see next week. What?
Brock came back in, so
Okay.
we'll talk to Brock real quick.
Wasn't bursting nobody's bubble. I was just
No, I know.
just
You're good.
filler.
Mr. Page. Howdy.
First and foremost, I want to say sorry to Brandon. I know he doesn't see it that way, but I was trying to do what I did to him on the backstretch and just get him a little loose going in the corner. I didn't mean to full on fucking dump him. I'm sorry for the language. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not. He's not happy, and he shouldn't be. I wouldn't be happy either. But that is not what I had intentions for. I want to apologize to him again. I'll have to end up sending my telemetry over to the admins because I already know it's being interviewed and all that good stuff. So I hope the race was good to watch from y'all's view. It was fun to drive in. A lot of ups and downs. Me and Jake got tangled up there early. Surprisingly, the car didn't fall off too bad. I don't even know how bad the damage was.
Well, Jacob was more a little wrecked than you were. Just put it that way.
Yeah.
He ended up got.
I need to go back and look at that.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean, I know he didn't do that on purpose. I seen it. Yeah.
And then you were
Yeah, he pushed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wasn't. Like I said, I wasn't even mad at Jacob for that. I told him that in the chat. I was like, I'm not back after you. I seen it happen, and in this car, especially here, it just gets so tight off the corner. If you get back in it just a little bit too early, it's an issue. So.
Yes, sir.
I hate that I got into Brandon, but.
Well, next week is Milwaukee. Don't know if you ever turn laps there.
If I'm able to race, it depends on how this all goes with the admins. I know Kyle wasn't too happy about it, but
Kyle,
ain't much I can do. I can't take it back. So.
He's right. Mistakes happened. I know this was just the certainty, but anyway, if you are, what's going to be your mindset heading into Milwaukee? I always end up butchering that.
Survive, I guess. That car, I mean, that track is fun. It's a loose track, but I don't know how that'll be in this car. I've never ran laps in this car there, so I need to.
Me neither. Been there in the trucks and I've been there in everything else, but not with the 87s I haven't.
The Gen 4s are a blast at that track. I just feel bad. I don't like winning races like that. I mean, the only time I've ever actually intentionally dumped somebody for a win was actually you here in our clash a few years ago.
Yes,
so
I remember that.
I meant to do that. But it was a for fun race. I really didn't mean to get into him here, and I know he's heated right now. But.
Me and you were just having the same battle, just like how you and B were, and that's just.
And seriously, like if you go back and watch it, I was really just trying to get in there and bump him. I did it, the corner before. I was trying to do it. I wasn't trying to wreck him. I was just trying to lift him up a little bit and get his car unsettled because we had too fresh of tires on here for any other lane to matter besides the top. And he had damage. He was plowing. I was getting runs, but you just can't really pass on the bottom here unless your tires are just that much better. And we didn't have enough time in the run to do that. So I understand his frustrations. I do. I really, hand on the Bible, did not mean to do that. I'm looking at my telemetry right here. I'm in the brakes right before I get into him, so.
Yes, sir. Well, you got
I don't know,
anything for Brocky Brock? So we can let Brock go cool down a little bit. He seems a little flustered, so we don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fighting for the championship, and if I get parked for a race, I mean that just shoots it right there. Might as well hand it to Jacob and not come out for the rest of the season. I don't want to do that, but that's up to the admins now.
Yeah. Happens, buddy. It happens. Like I said, we called it up from the top here, and that's just. I don't know. I just thought overall it was a very good race between everybody, and
It was a fun race. That was a fun race. We had that long run. I kind of got caught in the pits, or not in the pits, but after I pitted, the caution came out, and I was like, oh man, I'm 2 laps down. I was like, oh crap. If we go green again, I'm screwed. I'll never make that back up.
But you end up making it up, so I would say overall good bounce back. And,
yeah, I mean, happy we won, but not happy how it happened. But
yes, sir.
We're going to bet it now. Once again, I apologize, Brandon. I apologize to all the admins. Now they got to deal with all this nonsense. So, but if I'm here next week, I'll look forward to it. Either way, look forward to it. This league's been pretty fun. These cars are tough to figure out, and I think everybody's actually getting in a good groove with them now. We were all pretty close tonight. I think we're all getting the hang of these cars. Kind of wish we had another 20 races left or so, but we're about done with this deal, so.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm going to jump out of here. I got to.
Alright, buddy.
But shout out to you guys. Shout out to Dez, as always. Racing was pretty good tonight between the whole field. Lap cars did a good job of not killing us too bad, so. I will see y'all next week, hopefully.
Alright, buddy.
Yep, take it easy, and prayers to you and your family for good health.
Thank you, buddy. Much appreciated, as always. Alright, buddy, you go take care of yourself, and you go unwind, and yeah.
Alright, man. I'll hopefully see you next week.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
You too.
Anyway, Will, that was a doozy of a race, but as we were saying before, a lot of up and downs, so overall, a good race, I would say, besides the last closing laps. So
Yeah, so I have to agree with you. It was a great race overall. Even the finish, could, like what we talked about with the Jacob Carter incident, him getting into Brandon, that could be debatable. I guess, the closing laps of this race, in a way, different people could debate that as well. But next week, Milwaukee Mile, these cars never really ran at the Milwaukee Mile. The Busch cars did. The trucks have, but Cup cars, to my knowledge, if they ran at the Milwaukee Mile, it was, never the spec of cars. So, going to be interesting to see how that'll go next week. These cars kind of notoriously a big handful to drive and maneuver through the corners. So, just have to see how that'll fare next week. Basically, like you said, like we already compared it to, in a way, like driving at New Hampshire or at a bigger Martinsville, more or less. But yeah,
Yes, sir. But anyway, we'd like to thank you guys all coming out here tonight to tune in to the Throwback series here, the 87s, on the BNR side of things. So for myself, Brian Hunt, and Will Roberts, I'd like to thank you guys coming out here tonight. Stay safe, and give us a like, follow, share us, to get us out there, and just keep your family close. Love your family through all the hard faults of whatever they're going through. So that's all I got to say. Will, I don't know if you have anything else.
No, just thanks everybody for coming out, tuning in, and hopefully enjoying a great race here tonight.